Good afternoon, fantasy friends. I'm Chris Terrell, and we're back here for another daily fantasy baseball video. Today I'm going to go over just my favorite stack for the night to add to my stacks article that I wrote last night, this morning. So we're going to start at DFSR.com. We're going to sort by MLB, and as you can see, there's a lot of content up here today. We got the podcast with James and Doug. There's my stacks article, there's my pitchers article, and of course Austin's MLB baseball picks that he had done up last night. So I'm going to jump into the hitter stacks here. My stack recommendation for the Astros this morning, and then as you can see, I had the Boston Red Sox for tonight. They are the highest projected scoring team of the night, so they're going to be pretty chalky, so I'm going to go over just another play. But before we get into that stack, I'm going to have a look at some weather concerns for tonight. And in the night slate, we got a minor concern at Milwaukee at St. Louis. Doesn't look like it's going to be too bad, like nothing. Possibly a quick delay at the start of the game, but by half an hour into the game, there's going to be minimal rain in the area, so that game should be a go. Great spot for Adam Wainwright. That's going to be my top pitcher on the 5-game slate. As you can see, the wind's blowing in at about 19 mile an hour right now, so a little bit of a good spot for Wainwright. The other spot that's going to possibly be some delays and even a rain out tonight is going to be in Atlanta, the Mets at Atlanta, which kind of sucks because Wheeler was probably the second best pitcher on the slate. Now, if that game's going to be out and we're going to X that game out, that really limits our pitching options, so I just like Wainwright even more. But again, that's going to push him into a high chalk range. Cash games, you're probably going to see Wainwright in the 60, 70, maybe even pushing 80% range. Tournaments, 50 plus for sure. So it's just a matter of making your differences with your stacks and possibly some one-offs tonight. So I'm going to go over and look at some lineups, and we'll look at Boston's lineup. We talked about Boston. So they got Pedroia, Benintendi, Betts, and Ramirez and Bogart. So Bogart's kind of moved down the lineup a little bit. We got Pedroia back at the top, so still in love with that. It's going to be chalky for sure. Boston stack with Wainwright's going to be extremely chalky. Something I might do is maybe pivot to a different pitcher with my Boston stacks, just to kind of separate a little bit. But for my St. Louis, Adam Wainwright there, what I'm going to do, my favorite stack tonight is going to be the Seattle Mariners. So what I'm going to do is jump over to the Optimizer here, and I'm going to select the 7-10 slate. I'm going to come down here, I'm going to cross off the Atlanta, and then I'm going to go in. We don't have any lineups, as you can see over here in LineupLab's lineups. We don't have any lineups. So another reason why I like them is people will lock in their lineups early, not see that this game has no lineups in yet, and possibly get a little bit of lower ownership there as well. But again, I always like Seattle. They're a hot-hitting team right now, so I'm definitely going to roll with them to get away from the chalky Red Sox, that's for sure. So what I will do is I'm going to come down, I'm just going to go into the stacks option here, and I'm going to type in Seattle. I'm going to run the lineups and see what we get. Most likely Wainwright's going to come out on top. Yeah, so I don't need to lock in Wainwright. He's going to be in 100% of the lineups anyway. So what we got with our Seattle stack was Seager, Segura, Nelson Cruz, and Mike Zunino. I'm pretty comfortable with that. I'm going to go over to Fangraphs and just look at their last 7 days hitting. As you can see, Nelson Cruz right there at the top. He's got 2 home runs, 6 RBIs the last 7 days. Cano's been hot there as well in the middle of the order. Same with Kyle Seager and Segura back at the top. So those 4 are going to be my core. And then, on DraftKings, if I'm going to go on DraftKings, I might fit in Zunino or Ben Gamel, depending on what lineup comes out for that. But we'll have a look at that. I know that I'll be playing a late swap as well. Definitely, if you're playing a Seattle swap, or a Seattle stack, it's going to be good to play that late swap so you can go in and make some changes. But if you're not playing late swap or don't have time to do late swap later, I think you can feel pretty safe with Cruz, Cano, Seager, and Segura as your 4 core on Seattle. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll that in, and as you can see, we got some Boston in there as well. Chris Davis, he's been striking out a lot, so that's a guy I'm probably going to avoid. So what I'll do there is I'll just cross him out. And by the way, this is the FanDuel Optimizer that I'm on, so you can see 1 pitcher going there. So put in Danny Valencia, and it upgraded third base to Manny Machado. We got Segura, Nelson Cruz. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go up here and I'm going to lock in those 4. We'll go Gene Segura, Nelson Cruz, Kyle Seager, and Robinson Cano. So we'll lock those 4 in. We'll go over to pitcher and we'll lock Wainwright in. Calculate. Still got the Atlanta game crossed out. So that's what I'm going to be rolling with for the most part. Is probably, I'd say, we got 25 lineups here. I'm probably just on a small slate like this. I'm probably just going to run these top 4 lineups for my Seattle stack tonight. If you have any questions, I'm going to be in the DFSR chat room, public chat room here. Just click on it, it'll open up. That's where you're going to find me chatting for the rest of the afternoon leading up to lineup block. You can also comment in the section below if you have any questions, or hit me up on Twitter at Jaeger_bombs9. Thanks for watching, good luck tonight, and bring in the money.